He's got extensive experience in the medical field and in juvenile justice and anything having to do basically with public health and also with criminal justice. Welcome to our class. These are the IT kids, 9th through 12th grade, and they do have questions afterwards when you're finished, and they'll introduce themselves and tell you what grade they're in and what they hope to do when they graduate high school.
I have 2 hours, is that right?
I wish we did. We have till 11:30.
11:30. There's a lot of time. Good.
The floor is yours.
Well, I hope I tell you at least one thing today that you will remember and use it and help you for the rest of your life. I don't know maybe just exactly which thing I tell you that might have that effect on you. But first I'd like to share with you some experiences, and then we'll talk about what the coroner does and some cases that I found. You know, I knew Senator Thurman for a long time. He lived to be 100. And one of the things I admired about him most was he was a highly disciplined individual. When he was 85, he could do 85 push-ups. I don't know if he could do 95 when he was 95, but he was amazing about his discipline when it came to exercise and diet. And he just didn't consume anything that was bad for his body. I mean, he just really, what your body, how healthy it is, what it is, has a lot to do with what you put into your body and exercise. Recently, I visited Mr. John Greg McMaster. His son has been our Attorney General for a long time. He just left the Attorney General's office to run for governor. Now, Alan Wilson's Attorney General. But Mr. McMaster is 97 years old. March 16th is his 97th birthday. And he goes to his office in a coat and tie and practices law every day. And I asked him, I said, Mr. McMaster, what would you tell me is the one thing that you would say you had to do? Most important impact on your longevity and health. And he said, exercise. And all of my life I have believed in exercise. And lifting weights and ran and you know, rode a bike or whatever. But about 2 months ago I was taking care of some sick people and foolishly did not wear a mask, and I caught something that I ended up with a bacterial infection in my ear, lungs, and the antibodies just didn't seem to want to knock it out. A lot of bacteria are becoming very resistant to antibiotics. And finally I talked to an infectious disease physician. He told me that azithromycin, that probably a lot of you taking Z-Pack and these kind of stuff. He said that a lot of bacteria become more and more resistant to that. And there's a type of pneumonia, hospital-acquired pneumonia, it's a Staphylococcus bacteria that a few years ago, 40% of the people that got pneumonia while they were in the hospital died. And now it's 60, 70%. They just can't. The antibiotics are becoming less and less able to knock out the different bacteria. And they're building resistance, and companies are working frantically to develop new antibiotics, but it's not very profitable. There's so many more things they can work on that are more profitable than antibiotics, because when people take antibiotics, usually they just take them for a few days and then maybe never again for years. They would rather develop something for diabetes that a person had to take every day. But anyway, to make a long story short, I quit exercising, and in just a few weeks I gained weight. I started feeling terrible. So now I've had to make new resolutions about my diet and exercise. There are two things that are most likely to take your life at a young age. Can you tell me what those two things are? Do you know? What's the second?